show as people are coming in now to Clubhouse on Main.
It's officially open.
It is officially open. It is draft night, and what is your team going to do here in the first round?
I'm nervous.
And what are we about, 4 hours away?
3 hours, 33 minutes, and 20 seconds.
You are correct. Last time I checked, it was 4 hours and 30 minutes. So, yeah, it's 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 15 seconds, and you're on the clock. All right, so, we're all thinking that Caleb Williams will go number one, but do you expect any huge surprises like Trey Lance or something crazy like that to happen tonight?
So word on the street is that the New York Giants are calling all their friends in New England, trying to flip-flop 6 and 3.
Really?
That is word on the street. Now, both teams need a quarterback, and that's the question of who really loves Drake May.
Wow, Drake May is just like another version of Daniel Jones. Do I really want him?
Now, when it comes to the Giants, my bold prediction is they're going to draft a wide receiver, and that wide receiver is going to be really bad in the NFL. That's just I don't know which receiver that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be at number 6. My bold prediction is they will draft a wide receiver, and then 10 months from now, we'll be talking about how bad of a pick that was. You want another one? Are you ready for another one?
Well, I'm reading a story right now, as you said, on NFL.com, and they're talking if they can't get Drake May, J.J. McCarthy would be a Giant.
All right. Now,
I would love to see that, man.
I won't be surprised. I will not be shocked that Mr. Michigan will be drafted top 10 in Detroit tonight, and the place goes nuts, even though it might be a bad deal. Now, don't forget his coach sitting there at 5, the Chargers. Is there a world where he trades his current quarterback to either the Vikings, to either the Giants, to maybe even the Patriots? But I guess Patriots don't work because word on the street is, Dibs, Chargers want to go down from 5 in the draft. And if that down in 5 in the draft perhaps means getting the old quarterback with the old ball coach and going at it at the pro level.
Well, I heard that Adam Schefter shot down Greenberg this morning on the getting rid of Justin Herbert discussion.
Not a possibility.
No, because they would take such a massive cap hit, it's not feasible for the Chargers to do such a thing. So I think Herbert's sticking. But that being said, listen, a lot of these teams are trying to get out of their bad decisions, but nobody's been talking about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. I mean, I think that, listen, we could use a quarterback there. So everybody could use a different quarterback. Daniel Jones is the problem with the Giants. You just signed this guy to a $160 million extension. His base salary is $35 million annually. What do you do with that guy if you draft in the first round for another quarterback? So that, again, you made a bad decision, and now you're able to get rid of Barkley, but you still have Daniel Jones. You still have a lot of money invested in this guy. That's the biggest thing to swallow in a salary cap era. Even though they upped the cap, $30 million? It's still not going to eat a lot of Daniel Jones's contract.
Giants have a lot of places to fill. They really do. And to me, the Giants are the team that I would say draft the best available. You have so much to do. So much to do.
Joe Alt.
I think Joe Alt might be staring a lot of teams in the face.
Yep.
Now, I did put some profiles in. I know Kurt has this. You might have to bounce around and pick and choose, Kurt, but let's listen to Joe Alt. If no one knows who Joe Alt is, and you're going to be finding out here in 3 or 4 hours, let us play for you the Joe Alt profile.
Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame, 6'7", 316 pounds. Joe Alt has all the makings of a franchise cornerstone on the offensive line. Alt brings a special level of athleticism to the tackle position, where he possesses elite body control and quick footwork despite his imposing frame. A 3-year starter at Notre Dame, Alt also comes from strong football lineage. as his father, Jono, was a 2-time Pro Bowl tackler for the
Kansas
City Chiefs.
Didn't know
has
that.
The potential to step into any starting offensive line in the NFL on his first day in the league.
I did not know about his dad.
Listen, they got him going in the top 5 rounds, or at least the top 10 picks in the first round.
Picks. Yeah,
He's 6'9", 321, and can
6'9", he's
6'9".
He was 6'8" yesterday.
6'9", 321. I'm looking at ESPN's
Wow.
draft chart.
Yeah, he's a monster.
They grade him in the mid-90s. So, like I said, generational talent. I think you go with over, like Mike Golick said, is J.J. McCarthy a first-round pick? Or has Harbaugh upped his stock value with the chatter, you know? And so here's the thing: these guys in the war room, they know the truth. They know the truth, and they know, can this guy? First of all, you're not just drafting a guy that can play NFL football. You're drafting someone that can handle the media scrutiny in New York. You know, Eli Manning's been one thing. Daniel Jones, you see kind of, even the way he did his last press conference, they mocked him. The way he stares into the camera has kind of this crazy look. Whether he does it or whether he doesn't, people are always going to assume the worst of someone who plays for the Jets or the Giants. Boston is just as difficult, so I would say anybody who plays for the Patriots. We saw what they just did to Mac Jones the last couple of years. You have to be able to handle the criticism as well as your job on the field.
If you're losing. All those guys you mentioned.
Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls. There's a lot of people, Benjamin, that think he was crap.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm a Cowboys fan.
Agree.
And I think that guy was amazing as a quarterback.
But when you throw for 4,000 yards and you do have 2 Super Bowl rings, like, you can manage the heat a little bit better when you are always
now
hurt
he's
and
one of
you
the
have
biggest
nothing to
media
lean
moguls
on.
out there.
But
him and his brother Peyton.
Like, Daniel Jones has nothing to lean on like Eli does. Mac Jones has not even a sniff to lean on like Tom Brady did. So, like, these guys and all these guys, and Caleb Williams included, he's going to have a lot easier time in Chicago if he's winning football games. If he's losing,
look at what they've done to Justin Fields. They've been so hard on Justin Fields the last few years. I mean, it's been unbelievable.
Trubisky.
Before that. I mean, it doesn't. You can play for the Green Bay Packers. It doesn't matter. With social media as rabid as it is, the way these people put these fictitious stories out there constantly, you're not safe anywhere. And if you have one misstep, or you have, like you said, a bad season, the team has a bad season, they're usually going to put it all on the head of the quarterback and probably the running back.
The one guy I do think is going to be a linchpin for a lot of people's drafts and what they're going to do is this tight end, Brock Bowers. A lot of people want him.
You're high on Brock Bowers.
I'm not the only one. The Jets,
I think he's undersized at 6'3".
I would not be surprised if my Coltsies jump up above the Jets. To me, it's the Jets that you're trying to get above. I don't think Atlanta is drafting them. They've had a couple of good tight ends already. Who is it? The Bears are right there.
If Marvin Harrison was available, would you take him?
Yeah, I think the Colts are wanting Marvin Harrison
because his
Jr.
dad played for you. His dad's a Hall of Famer.
You got to get top 5 for Marvin Harrison Jr., and it might not be there at 5. You might have to go to 3 or 4 because Arizona has really been zeroing in on Marvin Harrison Jr. But if the Colts jump the Jets and Brock Bowers is still sitting there, that is going to make Aaron Rodgers upset, the Jets upset. There's just a lot of hurdles for it to go. I don't see Tennessee Titans helping the Colts out at all where they're at. I think they're at 7, right? So I could see the Chargers and the Colts making a deal at 5 for a Brock Bowers at the tight end position. Oh, who is Brock Bowers? We've been talking a lot about him on this show, and you hear a lot about him through the draft. There is a player profile as well in the system. Kurt, hit the Brock Bowers profile.
Brock Bowers, tight end, Georgia, 6'4", 240 pounds.
Looking to throw here, dumps it off short. There is Bowers. Bowers slips through a tackle into UT Martin territory. That's Brock Bowers, the reigning Mackey Award winner.
A 2023 unanimous All-American, Brock Bowers is a rare talent at the tight end position. Bowers brings a unique combination of explosiveness, speed, and route running ability that can add a layer most NFL offenses can only dream of at tight end. Bowers is a two-time national champion at Georgia, where he holds the record for most receiving touchdowns in a single season with 13. Bowers has been projected as the best tight end in this class with no real peers.
I remember saying this about Will Anderson Jr., the linebacker out of Alabama, who was a dynamite player for the Houston Texans. And I'll say this about Brock Bowers. You could have drafted Will Anderson 2 years ago. You could have drafted Brock Bowers 2 years ago. Like, these guys are NFL caliber at 19. Brock Bowers has just been waiting for draft day for the last year and a half. 13 touchdowns, the most reception touchdowns in Georgia history. I didn't know that as a single season. This guy's a touchdown machine. He can do it all as a tight end. He can block. He can run the routes. He can catch. He can run after the catch. I think a lot of people are going to be after this guy.
He's led Georgia in receiving the last 3 years.
3 years.
Last 3 years.
3 years.
Best receiver they've had.
Best team in college football.
Plays in the SEC. You're playing for a great coach. I mean, this is like the way Alabama does stuff. And Georgia, when these kids come out, they're NFL ready. That is a plus for this guy.
There are a couple of guys I need you personally to know, and everyone else. I think there's a couple. One that you suggested Tuesday, and one that I think is kind of a unicorn of sorts these days. There hasn't been a white cornerback in the league in a long time. I don't know if a white cornerback has been drafted in the first round ever, if not the last 40 years. Cooper DeJean. No one knows how to pronounce his last name yet. Maybe we'll figure that out in a few months. But Cooper DeJean from Iowa could have been the best corner in all of college football last year. Here's the player profile for Cooper DeJean.
Cooper DeJean, cornerback, Iowa, 6'1", 209 pounds.
Feels the pressure. Hit as he throws. Intercepted. There he is, Cooper DeJean. And he's got some space in front. DeJean is going to take it for a pick six.
A first-team All-American, DeJean missed the end of last year with a broken leg. He started as both a physical corner and a strong safety, but needs better movement to succeed in man coverage. DeJean can certainly contribute on special teams, as he was the Big Ten's Specialist of the Year in 2023. DeJean may not be for all teams, as he'll likely have to fit into his scheme to really meet his max potential.
There's two things that I would draft out of Iowa: defense and tight ends. And did they even average more than 12 points a game? I don't know how Iowa worked themselves into the Big Ten championship without scoring any points, but they were able to lean on defense. And when you have a corner that is locked down, and I don't know how they're going to use him, maybe a nickel, maybe they move him to safety, but if you have a corner that is locked down, and there's a couple, the kid from Clemson is, Kool-Aid McKinstry, we talked about on Tuesday, you can just figure out the rest of the 10. I ain't got to worry about this guy and this side of the field. I got to worry about everything else. That's like having Donovan Clingan play center for you on defense. It takes up for a lot of the other things you want to do on the football field.
I know he didn't go in the first round, but it wasn't 40 years ago. It was 20 years ago. Jason Sehorn.
Oh, yeah,
was taken second round, 59th pick out of USC, went from offense to defense.
Right. Was
fantastic until he got hurt. But this guy, one of the fastest white guys and best players to come out of USC, 6'2", 215. Yeah, he had a great career with the Giants and the Rams, just a little shortened because of injuries.
I got one more player profile. You asked for it on Tuesday. Laiatu Latu. Who?
I think it's Latu.
Laiatu Latu, edge, 6'5", 265 pounds, UCLA.
Bruins bring forward, set up the screen, got picked off, intercepted at the 25. Laiatu Latu, down at the 1.
A consensus All-American and Ted Hendricks Award winner as the nation's top defensive end. Nice. Latu had a dominant senior season with 13 sacks and 21 tackles for loss, both ranking top 5 in the country. A relentless motor and diverse arsenal of rush moves complement an athletic long frame. He'll need to improve as an anchor and run support, but his rush skills could lend him to playing an outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense.
Whoa.
Teams will pause at the neck injury that forced him to medically retire in 202021 while at Washington.
Did
but doctors
not know
at UCLA
that.
cleared him, and Latu went on to play 25 games in 2 seasons for the Bruins.
Well, there you go, Dibs. There's Latu. Great name.
23.5 sacks, Benjamin, over the last 2 years.
I did not know about that neck injury thing.
Didn't know about that either.
That's kind of a huge red flag. Huge red flag. But we got some names in this draft, my man. Chop, Kool-Aid, Latu. Take your pick. If he's not a first-rounder tonight, he's definitely a first-rounder in the name draft whenever we have that. But, yeah, Latu. I'm a Ladd McConkey fan. You don't have many lads. You know any lads in your life? Any lads?
I don't.
My cousin from Georgia is Landon. He was like one
Landon?
of the few Landons I know. But Ladd, definitely a Georgia name.
I know a few Cashes.
Cash?
Yep, Jacksons. A lot of Jacksons.
Jackson's becoming the thing now. We have a Jackson Powers Johnson. Jackson Powers Johnson. This dude, another D end. He'll probably go first round. Another great name, Jackson Powers Johnson. There you go. Now you know. You're all set.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We are live from Clubhouse on Main in Glastonbury. It's the Rob Dibble Show.
All
Ben
right.
Darnell on your afternoon drive. Please join us. We're here all night for draft night. Who is your team going to draft in the first round?
Woo.
We'll find out in 3 hours and 17 minutes when we come back on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell. Like I just said, we'll be right back on Fox Sports Radio.
91.